Legends, welcome! Update 11.6 brings changes to everything. Bots, titans, weapons, ultimates, specializations, drones, and motherships. I broke it all down clean and fast. Let's get into it. Our little fellow Mender tanks up. Wayland gains huge mobility while healing. And Nightingale trades suppression for faster and more aggressive support play. Seraph is back, guys. Hits harder and flies faster again. Mid-air pressure is finally back. Hawk gets longer flight and stronger reflect. Air dominance is back in play. Mars brings tougher shields and a nastier turret. More pressure, more punch. Fafnir hits harder and cycles faster, which means stronger pressure every time you go airborne. Demeter gets a buff, becomes a real team carry with longer range, faster cycles, and way stronger healing pulses. Condor gets tankier and heals better, but loses flight time and built-in damage, shifting it into a frontline bruiser instead of an air striker. Samjok or Samyok gets tankier and shoots faster, but loses a lot of accuracy, and the Sunstorm ability becomes much weaker. Overall impact goes down massively. Dux. Webby gets weaker, but Dux hits harder, shifts quicker, and builds its absorbability faster. Still strong if you time your plays right. Raptor drops hard. EMP is shorter and the built-in damage is almost gone. Hawkeye drone adds durability, but the bot's ambush power is way lower now. Ravager gets hit big. Less durability and weaker lockdown make close fights much harder. Even with the extra stack, the bot simply does not hit like it used to. Teth takes a heavy nerf. Teth used to be a straight up brawling monster, but now the shield is paper and comes back super slow. Sandstorm is a bit quicker, yes, but overall, Teth loses its frontline presence and becomes way easier to break. Sword Unit. Sword Unit used to drop massive destruction from the air, but now its base hit power is chopped in half. It moves faster and Skyfall returns sooner, so you can still make plays, but the old one-shot meltdown potential is gone. Let's check out the robot specializations. Beacon Operator buff. Beacon capture goes from 15% to 35%, up by 133%. Beacon runners get a huge spike and can change those beacons way faster now. Robot Accelerator buff. Movement speed goes from 11 to 22 kilometers per hour, up by 100%. Any bot with accelerator becomes way faster on pushes and rotations. The Hedget, Deshret, and Scent gets a nerf. Damage drops on all sizes, and the burst window tightens, which means finishing targets is harder and you need cleaner aim to secure kills. The arm weapons. One of the biggest damage drops in this update. Fire rhythm slows down and the weapon hits in shorter spikes now, so finishing targets is harder and you need better timing to land those kills. Gangyul, Mogran, and Kirin. Mixed nerf. Damage drops a lot and accuracy falls off, so you need precise aim to land those shots. Fire rate is a bit faster, but reload time doubles, which means your overall pressure goes down and finishing targets becomes harder. Aramis, Porthos, and Athos. Neutral tweak. Slightly slower rate of fire, but bigger reloads. Feels like a small stability adjustment and still plays the same once you get used to the rhythm. The Howler, Growler, and Screamer. More ammo and higher base damage, but weaker stacking. Feels smoother to fire and easier to control, but you lose that big explosive spike you used to rely on. Magnetar. Hits harder and reloads quicker, but loses a massive amount of ammo. The burst window is much shorter now, so you need precise aiming to land those kills. Regulator. Huge nerf to long range output. Accuracy and damage both drop. Extra ammo does not save it. Much harder to secure kills from range now. Prisma. Long range bonus cut in half. Reload becomes painfully slow, more shots, but way less impact. Prisma loses its sniper punch completely. Aopo drone. Aopo hits softer with its built-in damage and becomes less accurate overall. It now needs much longer flight time before giving the Aegis shield on landing. Cleanse stacking is restricted as well. Overall, a big consistency drop and way weaker in real fights. Hiruko drone loses its durability boost and half of its DOT, damage over time burst, when you use the module. The permanent 5% damage bonus is fully removed. Built-in damage hits harder per particle but fires less particles, so output still goes down. Still usable, but way weaker for brawling. The Shy drone is much easier to break now. Big defense loss during battles. Ultimate Invader hits the ground faster and tanks harder while landing. Cleaner jumps, better stick, stronger dives. Ultimate Mender heals more and cycles quicker. MK2 bonus is huge, way stronger mid-fight now. Ultimate Destrier, big buff, turns into a mini rocket. Double annihilation speed is insane for beacon capture and fast rush plays. Ultimate Griffin got a huge nerf as well. Dazzling jump hits weaker now, and the blind effect is also weaker. The jumps are not as effective as before. Ultimate Spectre got a little buff and a small nerf. Spectre has longer stealth time and faster cooldown now. It feels smoother overall, even though the damage window is smaller. Ultimate Sword. It gets faster and tankier, but the attack window is shorter now. You can still hit hard, but you must time the slash timing better. Ultimate Leech, heavy nerf. Ultimate Leech loses a big part of its reflect damage and defense. It's much easier to kill now, and the repulse time is shorter. Ultimate Arm Weapons. Both arm variants take a big hit, over 20% less damage. Makes them way weaker in every fight. Still usable, but nowhere near their old finishing power. You'll need better timing or team help to get those kills in now. Ultimate Shredder gets a small damage buff, but loses accuracy. Great up close, but the spread is wider now, so hitting targets at mid-range feels much weaker. Ultimate Hussar and Dragoon. Hussar and Dragoon get slowed down and lose their punch. More ammo helps a bit, but the weapon loses its burst identity. Still usable, but nowhere near as threatening as before. Ultimate Avenger. Avenger takes a huge damage cut and wider spread. It hits way softer and now is simply not competitive as before. Ultimate Havoc. Havoc gets a tiny damage bump and more ammo, but the accuracy takes a big hit. It fires slower and spreads much wider, so landing clean shots is harder now. Still playable, just not as sharp. Ultimate Tulumbas hits softer now, and the stacking is weaker. You get more rockets, but the reload time is longer, so overall, it's going to cause less damage. Ultimate Scourge. Scourge takes a massive hit. Damage drops hard and the reload is insanely slow now. You get a bit more ammo, but it doesn't save it. This is a heavy nerf. Ultimate Vortex finally gets a real buff, more damage, faster shots, faster reload. It becomes dangerous again for pop shot gameplay. The Sharanga Titan hits harder now, and the Exile comes back faster. Simple buff, sniper Sharanga players will love this. The Nodens Titan finally gets a real buff, double team heal and stronger self-repair. Much better for team play now. The Luchador Titan got dropped to tier 3 at first, but after the adjustments, they pushed it back up to tier 4 again. Still, the nerfs are real. You feel the shorter jump, the reduced mobility, and the weaker presence on the map. It's still usable, still at tier 4, but nowhere near the old dominant Luchador we used to have. The Rook Titan loses from its armor but gains speed. A bit faster and a bit easier to play, but still not meta. Honestly, this is just sad. The Eiffel Titan loses almost all of its offensive power. The big damage cut changes everything. This just hurts. Eiffel didn't deserve this. The Indra Titan. Indra gets hit again. Smaller lasso, longer cooldown, weaker tankiness. The tiny speed bump does nothing. Honestly, this hurts too. Indra keeps getting hit for no reason. The Heimdall, Aether, and Sirius Titans dropped from tier 4 to tier 3. They're still decent free-to-play Titans. but they fall behind on today's meta. The Versagliere Titan gets a big tank boost but loses a lot of its damage. Durability and defense goes up, but the fatigue shots and long range bonuses get hit hard, dropping all the way from 60 to 20%. So it is tougher on the front line, but much weaker as a sniper. The Mauler was built to be an almighty brawler, and just when we thought it was finally the time to give it the respect it deserves, it ends up getting slowed down instead. The range gets cut and its resistances get crushed the moment the fight begins. The slow and mark buffs are nice, but they do not carry the Titan during tough battles. This beast is supposed to crash into the front line and take over the entire fight, but these changes hold it back and take away a lot from what it truly deserves. The Atlas Titan becomes more aggressive, but loses a lot of tankiness. The built-in damage hits harder now, but the frontal shield dropping from 12 seconds to 7 is the scary part. Heavy plating gets stronger, but the cooldown is much slower, so you stay exposed longer. Atlas hits harder, but becomes a riskier Titan to play on the front line. The ultimate Arthur gets destroyed in this update. Its durability drops, its armor gets gutted, and the repair per second is almost gone. It becomes slower, and the blast wave damage falls hard while the cooldown becomes much slower. The only thing that improves is the blast wave push, but that does not save the Titan at all. Ultimate Arthur loses almost everything it was known for. The self-fix reactor gets cut in half and now heals almost nothing. Titan Repair Amplifier, TRA, also loses both healing values, which makes heavy Titans much weaker to sustain. Titan Last Stand becomes very strong, with 2 more seconds of survival, which helps a lot in clutch fights. Titan Immune Amplifier gets more durability and more speed, which makes it great for aggressive Titan play. Let's get into the Titan weapons. The Vajra and the Mahavajra lose damage but reload faster. The problem is the accuracy. The spread kicks in harder now. So even with faster reloads, you miss more shots. In real fights, this actually feels weaker because your close range pressure is not as sharp. Evora and the Veyron hit harder on paper, but the accuracy drops and the shot interval slows down. Reload is a little faster, but the weapon becomes awkward. It can burst well, but you lose a lot of consistency since fewer shots land clean. In real gameplay, it feels like a weird mix of more damage but less control. The Anguisher and the Runer get a strong DOT upgrade that is damage over time. The dispersion is still wide, but the DOT jumps from 600 to 920 per stack, and that makes DOT builds melt targets much faster. These weapons feel a lot more dangerous in close pressure, and finally have the punch they needed. The Striker. Striker takes a serious hit. The damage per particle drops. The reload becomes extremely slow, and even with more ammo and a bigger charge, the weapon does not recover. It loses its punch and feels much weaker in real matches. Striker is no longer the threat it used to be. The Equalizer and the Arbiter take a heavy hit in this update. Damage falls on every variant, and the long range bonus drops hard, which removes most of their pressure at distance. They also overheat faster and take longer to cool, which means you cannot keep firing for long. Even with the slightly faster shot interval, the overall performance feels much weaker. These weapons struggle in both mid-range and long range now. The Munin and Hugin, I also call them the Munnin and Huggin. Munin Hugin get slammed with massive nerfs. Damage per particle drops a lot on every version, which already hurts the burst. Ammo gets cut in half, reload amount is cut in half, and the bounce count goes down from 5 to 3, which removes most of the old chain pressure. The reload is a bit faster now, but it does not save the weapon at all. This is a full collapse of the old Munin and Hugin meta. The Void and the Chasm get a small damage bump from 1600 to 1700, and the first shot after reload hits much harder now. The reload interval slows down from 0.4 to 0.6 seconds, but the stronger first hit still gives these weapons better impact in close range brawls. The Frederick Mothership loses a lot from its impact and speed with this update. The Frozen Scorn Mothership hits harder, but for a shorter period of time. More damage, shorter control window. The Avalon Mothership provides less support, much less healing, and less cleanse reliability. The Paladin Mothership drops hard. Repairs go from 125,000 to 95,500, and Aegis goes from 250,000 to 180,000. The Mute Mothership gets stronger control. Blind and EMP go from 7 to 9 seconds. The Beholder Mothership loses beam power from 25,200 to 15,300. The Bifrost Mothership gets more tankier. Defense points rise from 45 to 65, and retention goes from 2 to 4 seconds. And please remember, these videos take a lot of time to prepare. So if you enjoyed it, please hit like, share it, and drop a comment. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you, legends. See you out there.